Well, thank you everyone for joining us on this DAISY presentation. We're here to look at DAISY, and DAISY stands for Decentralized AI System. Now, the idea was born many years ago, maybe 20 years ago. This lady on the screen, Dr. Anna Becker, it was her goal to create this DAISY project, and she is a specialist at artificial intelligence. She has a PhD, and she manages a lot of money for a lot of people. In fact, she manages over $1 billion, and that's a great responsibility. She works for banks, she works for pension funds, she works for institutional accounts, and really it's high net worth individuals. It's not really designed for, let's call it, little people like me. It's really for people that have $1 million to invest. But she was approached quite recently about bringing her product to the market to allow everybody to participate. And they've created a special DAISY crowd fund, which allows everybody to participate. In other words, people don't have $1 million, but you can put in $100 or $200 or $500 or $1,000. We create one fund that you can manage collectively instead of tens of thousands of small accounts. And that's why they've created the DAISY crowd fund opportunity, which allows everyone to participate. Now, if you're going to do some homework on DAISY, it's interesting to note that you'll find them on Gemini.com website. Now, Gemini.com is owned by the Winklevoss twins. These guys are billionaires. They're known the world over. They were around at the very early days of Facebook. Very clever guys. They're also around in the early days of Bitcoin. And in fact, there's a news report that in 2013, they bought $11 million of Bitcoin. And what's interesting about that is just last week we had Elon Musk. He bought $1.5 billion. So he's coming to the table, what, 8 years before these guys, after these guys. So they're very intelligent gentlemen. They have a trading exchange called Gemini.com. They have millions of dollars on this exchange, and they're promoting the same company that we're going to talk about, Endotech. You see, if you go to Gemini.com, scroll across to institutions, and if you scroll down, you'll see the Endotech logo, the Endotech brand on the Gemini website. And it's not an advertisement, ladies and gentlemen, it's an endorsement. It's a trusted partner, an institutional partner that they're recommending to their clients. And if you were to click on that Endotech link on their website, it will draw you back. It's hyperlinked, so it's hard-coded to the Gemini website, and that gives it great credibility. It gives me great confidence because obviously these guys are happy. These guys have done their due diligence and they're happy to promote it. So why wouldn't people like you and I be happy to promote it? Now, would you believe it? Just this morning, a few hours ago, we had a call with the owner of Endotech. This is the lady on the screen, Dr. Anna Becker, and she was very open. She showed us her trading wallet for DAISY. You can see that she had in her master account balance was 23 Bitcoins. And of course, in the sub account balance was 85 Bitcoins. And she showed us this morning. You'll see the time. That was on the 19th of February at 10:30 in the morning. And a lot of you were on that call and witnessed it. So it was very transparent. She's showing you the DAISY fund and what she's raised already. It also shows $25 million here, $25 million in the under asset management for the DAISY fund. And we can verify that very easily because we have many customers now using the DAISY project. And I just want to show you some accounts. Here's that 25 million you'll see in your back office. So if you're already a client, you will see this yourself. So from that Binance account that we just looked at, it's the data feed goes into your back office if you have an account. And as the Binance account grows and rises and falls with profits or contributions, you will see this number changing in your back office. At the minute, we're not taking any contributions. It'll probably open in the next week to 10 days, and then we're going to let the next tranche of customers in. DAISY brought in 52,000 clients in 4 days, and the total contributions for the trading allocation is 25 million. There was another 25 million also raised for the DAISY development, and there's a different part to the plan on that. Now, what I want to show you here is what we call a tier 1 contribution. You might know what that means. A tier 1 contribution means is you can contribute as little as $100 to this project. If you like the transparency, if you like the idea of being involved in AI, robotic trading, if you like the success that Endotech have already had, and you want to participate in that success, if you want to contribute to the development of AI, then you might like to make a contribution to this. And if you do, we're getting two benefits. The first benefit is we're getting trading rewards, which I'm going to show you now. And the second benefit is Endotech are offering this community 10% of our company. And this company is already valued at 100 million last year. What will it be worth when it goes to the stock market is another question. But for your contribution, for instance, this tier 1 contribution gives you 1 share in Endotech. Now, if a share in Endotech ends up at $100, wow, the contribution is $100. But what actually happens with the contribution is the contribution is split into different components. 50% goes to the Binance account we just showed you. So let's say this customer put $50 in there. This account was trading for, if you look in the bottom corner of the screen, 15 days. And after 15 days, this client had made $9. Now you might say, well, $9 isn't a lot of money. Of course it's not a lot of money, but for people that don't have $100, $100 is a lot of money. For those that do have $100, you know, well, count yourself fortunate. But this client has made 18% in 15 days. 18% in 15 days. If this $50 was sitting in a bank account, I can tell you they make nothing, literally nothing. It cost them money. Second thing is, if this $50 was put into real estate, they'd probably make about 10% a year with the right investment, 10% a year. This is 18% in 15 days. And the contribution is relevant to the reward because the bigger the contribution, you know, the greater the reward. So that's what we call a tier 1 contribution. It's $100. We have a tier 2 contribution, which is $300, and we have 10 tiers of contribution. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm going to show you an example now of a tier 7 client. And a tier 7 contribution means you have 6,300 in that Binance account, along with the 25 million we just showed you. Let's say your 6,300 was trading. Well, this account started on the 1st of February, and this was taken on the 15th of February. So after 15 days, this customer's balance had grown to $7,400. A total profit at this stage of $1,100 in what? In 15 days, 2 weeks? That means this client's making $600 a week almost. $550 a week doing nothing. So without getting out of bed, without having to go to work, if you can find a reliable and honest program that makes money for you, instead of you having to go out to work for your money, that's what people want in this difficult COVID times. It's amazing. That's what we call a tier 7 contributor. Now I'm going to show you a tier 10 contributor. A tier 10 contribution is $100,000 or thereabouts. It's about 102,300. So this is a big client, and it's again, it's relative. Now this account enjoyed $1,861 of profit in 4 days. So this account started on the 1st of February, and you can see by the 4th of February, this customer had earned $1,861. The very next day, the account had grown to $2,500, so it made about $750 overnight. Imagine you had a bank account that would automatically grow overnight by $750. Would you lodge your money with that bank? And imagine you logged in the next day, let's call it the 6th of February. Look at the bottom, 6th of February, that account had grown to $4,500 of trading rewards. That was the 6th of February. Now imagine on the 7th of February you were busy and you didn't log into your account, but you logged in on the 8th of February, and that $4,500 jumped up to $8,000. So 8 days trading on Binance, Endotech got this client $8,000 in 8 days. That's $1,000 a day. Is that something you might like to examine? Is that something you'd like to check out? You see, and not only are these rewards transparent, we saw the owner as account. These trades will be verified monthly by none other than KPMG, a top 4 accountancy firm in the world. They will go in because, you see, they don't win every day. There's good days and bad days, and that's the same in our life. We have good days and some days we have bad days, and it depends on the trading. If they win, if they've lose. But as long as they're winning more than they're losing, then you're in a positive position. Okay? So this account, after 8 days, it made $8,000. On the 9th day, it had grown to $10,000, almost $11,000 if you look at that. 9 days, $10,000. Very impressive. Let's go to day 10. It grew to $11,800 in 10 days. Let's go to day 10. 10 days trading, $12,500. Let's go to day 11. $13,000. Let's go to day 15. $12,000. So it went down a little bit. And if you understand that how the trading works is that, you know, they take a position and they make money. And if it goes down, you'd expect them to jump out of the market. But we learned on the seminar this morning that if it's a long position, it goes down and follows the trend further up. And that's why you can see a little blip here. So let's go back and look at that again. On the 11th, there was $13,000 in the account. On the next day, it had lost about $600. That's okay. It's still $12,000 in 15 days. And then today, 1 hour ago, this is the same account, had jumped up to almost $15,000, which is amazing. So it's up and down, upwards. And the good thing is you don't have to know anything about trading. You don't have to learn anything. You just make a contribution and you let the expert take control of the account, because this technology is working very, very well. And it's very, 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 very impressive. And if you do make tier 10 contribution, there's an opportunity for you to become a private client of Endotex, or what they call like a VIP. And it says here, as a Daisy VIP member, you're welcome to join Endotex community to get access to the AI-driven individual trading with an exclusive discount. During the onboarding process, you will be guided for registration to connecting your Binance exchange wallet. And what that means is now you don't need to make a contribution anymore. You've already made your contributions. You can leave your money in your own Binance account, or if you're, you know, let's say you have a Gemini account, like the Winklevoss twins account, she can work that account, or she can work your Binance account, and she plugs in what's called an API. It's just a little bit of software. She can't take the money out of your account. She can't withdraw. No, no, no. You're in control of your money, but she has got permission from you to trade your balance, and it can make you money. And that's what we have with Daisy. Very, very clever. Starting with $100 all the way up to about $100,000, and somewhere in the middle, you get in where you fit in. You know, it depends what you have. And of course, you can upgrade. You know, if you start with $100, you can upgrade the next day or the next week or whenever you wish, if you wish, to a higher tier of contribution. Now, the idea is to take the company to the stock market at the end of next year. Now, that will depend on the economic climate. It'll depend on certain conditions. And we can see that they were valued at 100 million already. That was back in November last year. And the idea is that we, together as a community, you, I, all our guests, we are creating a crowd fund, one account, that everybody participates in that one big account. And the idea is to raise 500 million. Now, in the first 4 days, when they soft launched the Daisy project, they lifted over 50 million in 4 days. 10% of this fund was gathered in 4 days. So there's no doubt that when it opens up again, it's going to open again very soon to bring in new clients. And maybe you're one of those new clients listening to this. Your opportunity can start very, very soon. If you get back to the person that shared this with you, get the referral link, and they can show you. Well, actually, I'll show you right now how to get started. What you can do today or tomorrow, or whenever you wish, if you're using a cell phone or a mobile phone, you can go to, depending on your device, you can go to Google Play and download the TronLink wallet. Or you can go to, for the iOS devices, for the Apples, you can go to the Apple Store and download the TronLink wallet. It's a free application. It's called a dApps browser application, dApps, I'll spell that for you, DAPPS. It's an abbreviation for Decentralized Application, dApps. So inside the wallet, there's a dApps browser. So just for a moment, if I show you how it works, let me just stop the share here and I can show you how it works. I've downloaded the device here. You can see it looks like I would call it a white paper airplane in a blue square. So it's the TronLink wallet. I highly recommend that. When you open up the TronLink wallet, when you open it up, you've got an account in here, but at the very bottom, there's a thing called a browser. Browser, can you see that? When I press browser, it opens up a browser here, and I cut and paste the smart link from your introducer into the browser, and that gets you connected. So it's very, very simple. Download the TronLink wallet onto your device. If you're using an Apple, it'll say browser. If you're using an Android, it'll say discover. You press discover, it opens up a browser, and the person that recommended you will give you a link. You insert the link to the browser, and that connects you to Daisy. Very, very, very simple. Now, let me just go back to the presentation. So you can have it on your smartphone, or you can have it on your PC. Now, I have it both. You saw it on my smartphone, but I also added it to my PC because I like a bigger screen. I can see the numbers better. And if you want to use it on your PC, you go to Google and type in, well, maybe if you, Google, you type in TronLink Chrome extension. You can see it here, TronLink Chrome extension. If you do that, you'll find on the right-hand side of your browser the same blue envelope or white, well, what is that, a paper airplane? How would you call that? It looks like a folded paper airplane that you used to make and fly the little paper airplanes. It looks like that will appear at the right-hand side of your browser, and it means your wallet's there, and then you cut and paste the smart link into your browser, and that connects you if you want to use the computer. Or you can use the cell phone, whatever's best. Or you can use both, because the seed words security that you have for your cell phone, you can add the same seed words to your computer, and that means you have a dual version of the account if that suits you. Now, the minimum contribution to Daisy is $100. And I like that because it means everybody essentially can participate. And what actually happens is that immediately through a smart contract, $50 will go to that Binance account we showed you, and that's where the trading takes place. Endo take care of the trading, so you have nothing to do. The other $50 goes to the marketing side of the operation, and we'll show you that in a minute. You've two choices once you've made the contribution. If you're receiving profits, like the wallets I showed you, are all in profit, every customer's in profit, all 52,000 customers that started with Daisy in soft launch, every single one of them are making money. So when it starts, again, if you want to make money or your clients want to make money, they need to get an account with Daisy. Now, you can remove the trading rewards, the profits, but you can't touch the contribution because that's trading. It's in position. It's working for you. So, but you can take the profits if you wish, or what we call the trading rewards, but you can't take the principal until the operation is complete, until they've completed the Daisy crowdfunding operation. But, or you can leave the money inside it to compound. And when you understand compounding, maybe that's what you'll want to do, because what compounding simply means, it's when your principal and your new profit is added together to make more money, so that it and its profit makes a bigger pie, if you like, so that the effect of compounding is far more powerful than taking out all your rewards and leaving your $100 at $100, and you keep taking the profits, then this doesn't grow. But when you compound, you have a bigger, better effect. And I can tell you that Endotech customers are quite familiar with getting results like 300% a year, 400% a year. And in some of the higher risk algorithms, they can get even bigger profits. But I would say Daisy is going to be a managed fund. I believe Dr. Anna Becker will look after it like her own little baby, and she'll probably be very conservative. She'll not do high risk stuff. She'll probably keep it moderate to low risk. And with that, we would be expecting, or well, I mean, I suppose past performance doesn't indicate future results, but I can say that she's quite comfortable with getting 300 or 400% a year in your Daisy account. So that's very, very positive. And you can see there are some accounts that are getting 20% in 19 days. You know, that's 1% a day, which is 365% a year on average. Of course, the ups and the downs. I mean, if she only made profit 300 days a year and lost for 65 days a year, that's a good balance. So that would be 300% profit on average if you have a look at the results. And of course, I'm not forecasting the future. I'm just telling you that based on what we've seen so far, because it's only been alive for 19 days, we're very, 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 very positive about that. Now, there are 10 different tiers of contribution, and you can start with $100. I showed you one of those accounts. It's making profits. 50% will go to Binance for trading. The other 50% will go to the marketing side. And you can see you get 1 share in 5% of Endotech's equity when it goes to the stock market. So therefore, if that share ever became worth $100, your contribution is covered. Cost you nothing. And if you want to reflect on that side of things, go and find out how much 1 share in Amazon was back 1994 and check what price an Amazon share is today, or go and find out how much the share started at Facebook and what they are today. And with a company like this that can make people lots of money, it's going to become very, very, very popular. Lots of people want to get that stock. And again, for every $100, you get 1 share. Now, for $300 contribution, you get 3 shares. $700, 7 shares. But also you'll notice that the contribution is split 50-50. So let's say we take this one, 6,300. You've got 3,100 trading, and the other 3,150 is going to the marketing side to develop the AI, to do the marketing side. That's what happens there. Now, there is a thick black line here, and the reason that's there is because once you go to a higher contribution, I'm talking about tiers 8, 9, and 10, then it changes. 70% of your contribution then will go to the trading side, and 30% will go to the marketing side. And if you would allow me just to go back to the flip chart here just for a second, I just want to play around with some numbers for you to give you an idea of the possibilities, just so you're pretty clear about what's happening here. So if somebody made a contribution of just $100, the software will send 50% to the Binance account, so there you go. And the other $50 will go to the marketing side of things to develop the AI, to develop the technology. It's a bit like your smartphone. Your smartphone is a different one than you had 2 years ago because it keeps evolving. Better speed, better RAM, better memory, better touchscreen, better cameras, better battery life. It's always evolving, higher processing. And that's the same with AI. It's ever evolving. With the introduction now of 5G and many, many other components, it's always growing. So there's a lot of money needed to develop the AI, and that's what you're contributing to. You're saying, I love this project. I want to contribute $100 to it, and I'm going to get a share in Endotech, and she's going to give me trading rewards. That's the 2 benefits. Now, just let's look at the trading rewards for a minute. If she achieves 100%, you got your $100 back, plus you've still got 1 share in Endotech. If she achieves 200%, you've now got $200. If she achieves 300%, you've now got $400. Now tell me this, where in the world can you turn a $50 note into a $400 note reliably, honestly, vetted by KPMG, open and transparent, traded on Binance? Do you know anywhere? I mean, if you put $50 in a bank, you probably end up with $45 at the end of the year with fees. Plus, the dollar is depreciating. It's losing its value as the governments print more money for COVID. They print more currency. This devalues in a year's time. $50, what buys you today, won't buy you $50 worth a year from now. It'll buy you maybe $40 worth. It'll lose value. But if you can get your money to work for you, and you can turn a $50 note into 100, or effectively a $100 note into a $400 note, is that worth considering? Now, what about a higher contribution? So we have other customers doing tier 10s. So the tier 10 contribution is 102,300, but they get 1,223 shares. So if Endotech stock ever reaches $100 a share, this costs nothing. Because you're getting equity and you're getting trading rewards. So let's look at the trading rewards. Now, when you do a tier 10 contribution, 70% goes to Binance and only 30% goes to the development of the AI and the crowd and the marketing side. So let's keep the math simple here. Let's say there's $70,000 trading and $30,000 goes to the AI that pays all the bills, that does the marketing, that develops the product. So imagine you had $70,000 like the account I just showed you. It's making $1,000 a day. Well, in 70 days, you'd have your 70,000. But what if she gets 100% profit in a year? Well, 100% profit means you have $140,000. Now, you tell me anywhere you can turn $100,000 into $140,000, and that's just 100% return. In fact, it means 40%. If I bought some real estate for 100,000 and I rented it out, I might make 10% in a year yield, 10% yield in a year with real estate. I need a good client, I need a good customer. I hope they don't ruin the property on me. I have to collect rent, I need a manager, I've got fees, repairs. That's real estate. But what about this? 40% doing nothing, passive. How bad would that be at 100% profits? What if she achieves 200%? And guys, we have evidence since 2018. I've seen, I'm going to say 50 different examples of different accounts. I've never seen less than 300% in a year with Endotech. I've seen 800%. I've seen bigger ones, but they're high risk for big clients with $1 million. But on small accounts like these, if you got 100%, 200%, or 300%, let's just go to 300%. Imagine you're able to turn 100,000 into $500,000. Is that something you'd like to do? Without getting out of bed, without having to go to work. Isn't that amazing? And a question often asked is, what can you take out here? You can take out your trading rewards any day you like. But you can't take out your contribution until the Daisy fund is complete, which might take us a year and a half. Because guess what? This is in position trading. That's on account in Binance. I mean, if you wanted that out, that means they have to close down the account, take out the trade. Of course, when the algorithms are working on that to make you more money, why would you take it out? So you have to think kind of long term on the contribution. You know, you're talking probably a year or two on that, but the profit, sure, there's plenty to live on here. Why would you need to take it out if you're making profits from your trading rewards? So that's what I wanted to say about Daisy. We've talked about the owner of Endotech. We've talked about her credibility on Gemini.com. We've talked about all her trades will be verified for the Daisy Fund by a top 4 accountancy firm in the world. So everything is real and trusted and stamped and validated. That's very positive. And the accounts that I've just showed you are examples of real Daisy clients. In fact, one of those accounts was mine. And the smaller accounts weren't mine, the $100 and the $6,300. So there's various ways everyone has evidence that this is working and working very, very nicely. So there are 10 tiers of contribution. Starting at $100, you can see 50-50. When it gets up to tier 7, which is 12,700, lots of people are going for that. 6,350 trades for you. The other 6,350 goes to the marketing. And look how many shares you get, 127. When you go to tiers 8, 9, and 10, you can see a tier 10 contribution like I showed you, 10203. Almost $70,000 is trading for you, and that's absolutely amazing. So it's up to you. You can actually start small. Maybe you only want to do the first 3, yeah, and maybe later get some profit and use the profit to upgrade. You could do that if you wish, or maybe you want to club together with some friends. You know, I know some people wanted to go for the big account, but they didn't have the money. So maybe 4 people got together and set up one account, $25,000 each. Or maybe 5 people get together and do $20,000 each. Or if you can afford it, you you do it yourself. So we have different arrangements where syndicates are coming together to make this happen. It's really, really, really cool. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of the presentation over. For those of you who just want to understand Daisy, it's very, very simple, very, very easy. There is another part which we can share with you, and that's kind of for those of you that would be interested in helping us develop the community. Okay, so if that's all you want to hear, you're good to sign off now. Please do get back to the person that introduced you and shared this information with you. For those of you who want to make more money than what I showed you, well, you're very welcome to stay on the seminar. I'll discuss now, for those of you interested in building a business or an income with this, you can help develop the crowd with us, because we need more clients that are interested in this, and there are some very interesting rewards for those of you that can help find us clients anywhere in the world that would like to enjoy these benefits. So let's go to the second part for those of you who'd like to stay for that, and we're going to talk about the referral side of things and how you can build another income. Okay, so thank you for those of you that have stayed for this part of the session. We're now going to show you how you can develop an income stream by helping develop the Daisy crowd. The first section we did was really about our customers. They're not really interested. Maybe a big business person's not interested in developing the organization. He's certainly interested in making a contribution to get the benefits. The benefits, remember, were stock, equity in the company. She's giving 10% to this community. And the second benefit is the trading rewards that we shared on the first part of our presentation. Now I'm going to focus on the marketing side. How do we develop this? Well, every customer that registers with Daisy, they are entered into a software program that we call a matrix. Very simple. We use a 3x10 matrix. What does that mean? It means that hard-coded to your ID, there are 3 empty locations on the first generation of your matrix. These are empty locations. And if you were to share this idea with somebody, they would take up the first position and you would get 4% of whatever they contributed. So if someone put in $100,000, you get 4% of that. Or if they put in $6,000, you get 4%. If they put in $100, you get 4%. Now, once you fill the first 3 positions, and let's say you had you shared this with person 4, 5, and 6. Well, they can't get into those positions. That real estate is sold. That's gone. These are the best positions, the first 3. After that, after the first 3, any new business goes behind them. It falls over or it spills over under them. So it's pretty cool, because maybe your introducer is busy and they've got lots of contacts. Those customers could fall under you in your account, and you would get paid on them. You don't know who those customers are. So it's called a 3x10 matrix. And after the first 3 positions are filled, any additional contributors will fall under those first 3. So if somebody's sharing this with you, make sure you make a decision fast that somebody else doesn't get those 3 positions, if that makes sense. You want to be one of those 3 if at all possible. Otherwise, you go on to what we call the second generation. And there are 9 positions on the second generation. Now, on their contributions of packs 1 to 7, you get 4%. And then on the higher packs, it's only 2% on 8, 9, and 10. That's how it works, because there's only 70% going trading and 30% goes to the marketing side of things. Now, there's no, I suppose, personal requirement for you to share this with anyone, by the way. This is optional. You don't have to do this. And even if you didn't share it with anyone, there is that potential that if you look here, it says referral requirements is none. There is no requirement of you to share this with anyone, and you still have the potential to earn this if it was your upline or your introducer that brought these sales in and not you. So I just want to let you know, you're always qualified for the first 2 generations if that happens for you. You're also qualified for all the rest of the commissions in the next 8 generations for 48 hours. In your first 48 hours, you're eligible for all these commissions. But after the first 48 hours of your contract, then the software asks you to help. So for the first 48 hours, you're qualified for everything. After 48 hours, the software says, okay, it's now turn. If you want to benefit from all of this contribution, there's $198 million here. in a full matrix, 198 million. If you want to benefit from that, then you must help develop the crowd. It's now your turn to participate. You're getting stock in the company, equity. You're getting trading rewards, yeah? You're getting the first 2 levels for free. You're getting all the levels for free in the first 48 hours. But after 40 hours, it says, now come on, it's your turn to help build the community. Go and find us 3 customers. So if you want paid on the 3rd generation, you need to find 3 customers that like Daisy, and the total contributions of 3 or more customers needs to be about $1,000. If you do that, then you're eligible for these 27 payments. Now, these payments are coming from contributions made by others. You're getting paid 27 times at 3%. If you want to qualify for the next generation, you need to find us 6 clients, $2,000 of contribution, then you get paid 81 times at 3%. And let's go down to the bottom here, generation 10. If you want qualified for that, you need to bring 24 customers to the party, total contribution of $128,000. And you might say, well, that's a lot of money. No, it's not. Imagine you invited me to this and I put in 102,000. I'm only 1 customer. That means the other 23 customers, you only need, what is it, 26,700 between the rest of the 23. So if you can find a big customer or a syndicate, you can achieve this quite easy. And then what that opens up is 59,000 payments. 59,000 payments at 4% or 2% going straight to your account. Now, I've just worked out here that imagine we all started with $100, you know, and let's just remove the qualifications for a moment. If everybody found 3 people and you found your 3, and let's say you did this in March, you found 3 people in March, and let's say the next month, April, they went and found 3 different customers. You don't know who these 9 are. Let's say in May, they went and found 3 customers. In May, you don't know who them 27 are. Let's say those 27 people brought 3 in June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Let's say this year, you built this matrix, and everybody only contributed $100, you'd make $344,000. Now, that's allowing for the qualifications, but to build a matrix of 3 by 10, the maximum amount of people that can join is 88,000. If that happens for you, you get 344,000. Now, what if only half of that occurred in your example? Imagine you only did half of it. Well, how bad would 170,000 sound to you for achieving half of that? Remember, you only put in $100, $50 is trading. You've got to share an Endotech, and you've got $170,000 for your $100 if you build this part-time from home. What if you only do 10% of my numbers here? 10% of my numbers, what would that give you? Well, 10% of 344,000 is a very cool $34,000. And I know in some countries, $34,000 is probably close on the national average wage. And with COVID around, people aren't getting to work, businesses are suffering, people want to make money from home, from the internet. This is a very, very nice source, a very, very reliable and honest source, a very transparent source. And $34,000 is a good income, and that's 10% of my numbers. Now, of course, I realize that people will make more than $100 contribution. Some will do a 300, a 700, you know, and some people will do the 100,000. So it's a mixed bag of possibilities here. But what I've done is I've calculated tiers 1 to 7, and I've worked out that if your community, this same community, upgraded to all 7 tiers, you'd make 43 million. And I've also calculated, imagine this same community you built, upgraded all the way over to all 10 tiers, you'd make an additional 154 million on top of the 43, meaning the total possibility, the maximum possibility is $198 million if you filled 3 by 10 and everybody went 10 generations or 10 tiers. Now, people will say, well, how would people do that? Well, if you have a look here, if you only build 6 levels deep, you've got nearly 277,000. Do you think you would upgrade to tier 10? Absolutely. You actually can use your trading rewards from Endotech, or you can use your commissions from the Daisy crowd to upgrade. And if you just work nicely with your team and help them evolve and upgrade, sky's the limit. Now imagine you achieved 1% of what I've just said. So that's 100%. Imagine you did 1% of these numbers. 1% of $198 million is $1.9 million. Is that a good enough reason for you to get started? Is that a good enough reason for you to say, yes, let's try this? If you want to build the teams with it, you want to help us build the community. This is optional, of course. Now, I've also calculated what would you earn if you filled a matrix for the first 3 tiers. That's the 100 contribution, the 200, and the 400. Total contribution, $700. Now, bearing in mind, 350 will go to Binance to trade. If she gets 100%, you've all your money back. Imagine you use that philosophy. At least if I got my money back from the trading, there's nothing to lose. And I would have 7 shares in 5% of the equity. But imagine the team started to build, and you built this 3-9-27 matrix. In the first 3 tiers alone, you could make yourself 2.4 million. And if you only do 10% of this, the first 3 tiers, it's $250,000. It's $240,000. So that just gives you some ideas that if you only did 1 matrix or 2 or 3 or all 10, I'm giving you a variety of possibilities here. Now, in addition to those commissions, there's more. You see, you also get 5% direct commission on top of those commissions. So let's say, for example, you shared this with me. Well, you would get 5% direct commission. So if I did 100,000, you would make 5,000 immediately within 3 seconds. It's paid within 3 seconds of my contribution. Bang, you're paid $5,000. But you must place me in the matrix. The software has to place me somewhere in your matrix. So let's say I'm one of your first 3. You get that $5,000, but you also get another $4,000 because I'm on one of your first 3. Now let's suggest you didn't talk to me today and you had 3 others in there. Then you bring me in. I have to go on the 2nd generation. Does that make sense? Because the first 3 are now filled. Then you tell me, and I go under one of these 3. I go on to the 2nd generation. Well, guess what happens? You still get the 5% because you introduced me, and you still get 4% because we pay 4% on the 2nd level. That makes sense? In fact, one of these 3 will also get 4% on me, and they don't know who I am. Because I fell under them, they get 4, but you get 9%. And that's how it works. So the commissions are great. It's 34% if you add that up, plus 5% is 39% payout immediately in 3 seconds. There's another bonus over here called I call it a matching bonus. For everybody you introduce personally, you're entitled to 10% of their matrix earnings, provided you're in the same metrics as them. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Let's say you share this with me and I make $1,000 in the first day. You get $100. Why? Because you get 10% of my matrix earnings because you introduced me. Let's say the next day I make $2,000. You get $200. So for everybody you introduce, you're getting 10% of what they make in the matrix. But the caveat is this. Let's say you're in the 6 matrices. You've gone 6 tiers. And I come in at 6 tiers. You get 10% on all those 6 tiers. But if I upgrade to the 7th and you decide, no, I'm not going there, I'm happy with 6, you will not get the 10% in the 7th, as I make all the money in the 7th. You've decided, no, I'll just get paid on the first 6. So you get 10% on the matrix earnings of those people that you introduced. Okay, so that's how the matching bonus works. Now I want to talk about the pace setter bonus, and this is something you need to pay attention. So I know we've spoken a lot of numbers today. I know you've seen a lot of figures, and maybe you're not a figures person, but you need to pay attention to this. Whatever you're doing, you need to pay attention to this because this bonus is incredible. It's called the pace setter bonus. A pace setter means you set the pace, a bit like a bicycle race. If a cyclist is going for a world record, they will set a pace setter out at the front of the pack to get the speed up. They'll go faster to pull the crowd so they have a chance of making the world record. It's setting the pace. And here, as a Daisy contributor, if you set the pace in your first 30 days, the software gives you extra benefits. So whatever you do in 30 days, the software is very kind to you and it gives you extra benefits. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Imagine after your first 30 days, you'd share this with just 3 people. You're very part-time, just 3 customers. And let's say those 3 customers made contributions of $1,000 between them. Well, then you're qualified for the 3rd generation on the matrix, yeah? So the first 2 generations, there's no qualification, remember that. But on the 3rd, there is. So 3 people and $1,000. What happens is, if you do that, the software unlocks the next level for you for free for life, meaning you get paid on these 81 contributions, even though you didn't qualify, okay? Now, let's go down to number 9. To get qualified for generation 9, you need 21 customers in total. Now, you could have 22 or 25 or 30 or 100, doesn't matter, but the minimum is 21. If you have 21 customers and the total contribution is $64,000 between them, like one of them might do 100,000 like me, but let's say there's 64 between all of them, you're qualified for generation 9. Does that make sense? You're qualified for 9 in 30 days. The software unlocks the 10 for you. So that means you get these 59,000 payments even though you didn't qualify, okay? So if we read this, it says unlock matrix levels 3 to 9 in your first 30 days. So whichever one you hit in your first 30 days, the next one opens up for life. And that's why you need to work hard and go get qualified. Now, for those of you that do tier 10, or not tier 10, they qualify for generation 10, you need 24 directs and 128,000. If you do not tier 10, if you do generation 10, yeah, that's 24 directs and $128,000, then the magic begins. What do I mean by that? What the software will do automatically for you, it will pay you a share in 1.8% of every contribution that comes into Daisy. And these contributions are coming from all over the world, nothing to do with you. You see, you only have 24 customers to qualify. But imagine 1,000 customers join tomorrow and 10,000 over the first month and 20,000. Every contribution in the world, your wallet gets paid a share of 1.8%. It's amazing. In addition to that, there's another 5% shares in equity that you're going to get from Endotech for the gold pay setters. In addition to that, you're going to enjoy a share of 1.25% of every withdrawal. Imagine I withdrew $500,000 and I'm not in your business. You got paid. Imagine my best friend withdraws $200. You got paid. You don't know my friend. Because if you qualify for Gold Pay Setter, you get paid on every contribution in the world and you get paid on every withdrawal in the world. And that's why it's important to go qualify for Pay Setter. And it's quite interesting, if you calculate this, the withdrawals will be higher than the contributions. Let me say that again. The withdrawals will be much higher than the contribution. Why do I say that? Well, because in this example, the contribution was 100,000, but look what the withdrawals will be, $500,000 at 300%. So the customers will be taking out more money than they'll be putting in. So the 1.25% is going to be a bigger bonus than the 1.8 on the way in. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's something you must do. You must get on the phone, get people to the presentation. If they can't do this one live like you're on today, let them watch a recording of this. Get their questions answered. Let them trust it. Let them understand it. Tell them to download the Tron Link wallet. Send them $10. Get them to send it back. Start learning how it works. Start gathering your contribution ready for launch. So we did a soft launch. We brought in 52,000 customers. They're all making money. And if you want to make money and get your team making money, you need to get them ready. Because as fast as you can, you want to hit this Pay Setter. And then you get these bonuses. There's another Pay Setter bonus if you can find 3 people to do that. If you could find 3 people to do that, wow, you get another pace setter bonus, which is a different one. It's another 1.8% on every contribution, and it's another 1.25% of every withdrawal. Let me just do that one on the flip chart for you. So we're looking at pace setter, and there's a thing called hindsight. You've probably heard it. Hindsight is a wonderful thing. If you know what happened before, you can almost predict what's going to happen again. Would that make sense? You have hindsight. So when I started with Daisy, there was no hindsight because it was just starting. There was no past performance, there's no history. But I'm going to tell you that in the first day of Daisy, there was approximately $20 million of contributions in the first day. And in the next 3 days, there was another 30 million come in. But I'm just talking about the first day at 20 million. And that's why there's 25 million trading. You saw that on her Binance account. Half of it goes to the trading. So these figures are correct. Now, we talked about the gold pace setter bonus, and I just showed you the leadership pace setter bonus, and I want to show you the value of participation. You might remember just a moment ago, I said if you qualify for pace setter, 1.8% of every contribution goes into this pool, and 1.8% of every contribution in the world goes into this pool. And it's up to you to decide, do I want in this one, or do I want in this one, or can I get into both? Well, yes, you can get into both if you wish. So let me show you the value. How much is 1.8% of $20 million? I'll work it out for you. It's $360,000. That means on the first day, when Daisy soft launched, there was $360,000 in each of these pools. I can also tell you that 80 people qualified for this one. I was one of them, I qualified. There was 80 people in the world qualified for this, so we shared this. So on the first day, we made $4,500. Simple. Let me tell you how to get into this. You need 24 directs minimum and a total contribution of $128,000 in revenue. And you've got to do that in your first 30 days. Well, you could do it in 1 day. You could do it in 1 day. If you spoke to 30 people and put them on this presentation and 24 said yes, and the total contributions for that, you could do it in 1 day. Or you might speak to 1 person today and 2 tomorrow and nobody the next day, nobody the next day, 1 the next day. You could do it in 30 days as well. It's pretty slow, but you could do it in 30 days. So the pace setter works for 30 days. You have to do it in 30 days. But it's better to do it faster because then you're getting paid as soon as you qualify. Does that make sense? So this is a 30-day pace setter bonus, 30 days. That's the target. So this week, you could prepare for that. You could have that ready. You could have your 24 ready to go. You can find out what the contributions are. Go, wow, you might be short 5,000 or 7,000. And that gives you a chance to work and try and get that target filled. If you do that, wow. Because 4,500 come in the first day because it was $20 million come in. But the next day there was another 15 million come in. And the next day there was another 15 million come in. Can you see what these bonuses are paying? This is called, well, I call it global spillover. Global spillover. Whatever happens in the world, because you might only have 24 in your team, but you're getting paid in everybody that wants to make money with Daisy. And you don't know who these people are. So it's a very worthy thing to qualify for. But over here, guys, there was only 6 people did this one. Only 6 people in the world qualified for the leadership pace setter bonus. So when they shared this, 80 people shared that, and these 6 people shared this. When you divide that by 6, these customers made $60,000 each in the first day of Daisy, day 1. But also, those 6 guys were in here as well. They, out of the 80 people, these 6 were 6 of them. So they got this and this in the first day. And this is only 1 commission. That's not including the 4%, the 5%. That's not including the matching bonus. That's just the pace setter bonus on its own. $60,000 in the first day. And you could do that in the first day when we go into pre-launch. We did soft launch. Now we're going into pre-launch. If you get that ready, because everybody's getting very excited about Daisy, and that was on 20 million, then there's another 30 million come in. And they got 1.8% of 30 million. So you can try and qualify for that, or try and qualify for this. Now, how do you qualify for this one? Simple. Find 3 people to do that. If you can introduce 3 people yourself that does this, you get into that. You see, I did this myself, but I did not find 3 people to do what I did. That's what I'm doing now. I'm reaching out to you to help you do it. Because if I get 3 people to do that, I get into this. And if you get 3 people to do that, you get into this with me. And that 6 becomes 8. Me and you as well sharing this. And as this grows and grows and grows, these contributions gets bigger. And that's quite exciting, isn't it? But I'm going to tell you what's better. What's better, ladies and gentlemen, is the 1.25% on the withdrawals. On the withdrawals. Because I've already told you, if there's 100,000 coming in, that customer could withdraw 300,000, and you get paid 1.25% share. All the Gold Pacesetter share 1.25% on every withdrawal that comes out of Daisy, and all the Leadership Pacesetter bonuses share 1.25% of all the withdrawals as well. These bonuses will be much bigger than these bonuses because the contributions will be less than the payouts, because she's making us all money. And that's the Pacesetter bonus. That's what you need to focus on. That's why you should have 10 people on this call. If you haven't, you're not hungry enough to achieve it. That's the only option. Why would you starve someone of this information? This is something you should be sharing with everybody you care about, everybody you love, because this is very, 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 very serious. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to our last bonus. So we've talked about 5 bonuses. You remember there was the 4%, 333 in the matrix. That was the first one, the 198 million total possibility. The second bonus was the 5% you get for a direct. The third bonus was the 10% matching bonus. The fourth bonus was the Pacesetters. And the fifth bonus, the last one, is what we call our uni-level trading bonus. How does this work? Brilliant. This is brilliant. It's been said that compounding is the 8th wonder of the world. I think it was Einstein said that. And if you don't understand what compounding is, please go and Google it. Just go Google the power of compounding. Find out what compounding is. Compounding is when your principal and the profit you get rolls up together to make more new money. It's an amazing concept. The banks enjoy it, the wealthy people enjoy it, but the average people never get access to this kind of wealth. Daisy is allowing you in for $100 or more. It's a great opportunity. So if you can get your own money to work for you, like I showed you the accounts at the beginning, if you can get your money to work for you instead of you going to work for your money, that's a very special situation that someone's given you. The person that invited you to Daisy, you need to thank them. You need to pick up the phone and say, listen, I want to thank you for this. This is amazing. So when you can get your money compounding, you're in a very special situation. But this bonus I'm going to talk about now is what I coined the phrase, the 9th wonder of the world. Why? Have you heard of OPM? Not opium. I think that's a drug, opium. OPM. It was Mike in Japan that talked about this. Other people's money. You see, a lot of the wealthy business people, they use other people's money. They go and borrow it from the bank. That's other people's money. That's how people make money as well, other people's money. In this part of the program, these bonuses here on the left-hand side is when your team compounds. You are getting paid on the compounding effect, not of your own money, but when everybody in your community is compounding theirs, you get the 9th wonder of the world. It's the compounding power of the community, not just the compounding power of your little contribution. So let's say you introduced me and I took out $500,000, you get paid 3.5% of that. If you introduce me, you're generation 1. Generation 2, you get 1%. Generation 3 to 10, 1%, but you got to qualify. And those qualifications are the same as I explained earlier, for the matrix. So this is getting paid on the compounding power of everybody's money, other people's money, not just the compounding power of your own, which Endotech does in their Binance and with their algorithms. It's amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our presentation over. Thank you so much for joining us. We split it into 2 parts. The first part, we examined the company. We looked at our due diligence and the relationship with Binance and with the Winklevoss twins. We looked at their accounts. We looked at live trading results, recorded results of existing clients with this project. They're not made up. One of those accounts was mine. We then finished that section for people that just want to make a contribution. Then we did phase 2. We went into the marketing side. If you want to make more money, it's very, very exciting. Not everybody wants to do it. But if you're sitting at home, worried about your career, worried about your job, worried about your business, worried about your future, this might be something you'd like to consider. I want to thank you for joining us on this call. Please get back to the person that shared this with you. Please make a decision fast and get started with this. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. Thank you very much.